Hey everybody, so as you can see now, I finally got myself a intro. It's been on my mind for something to do for you guys for quite a while now, so I'm just dealing with my boring ass videos. And I was working with this one program. God, I can't think off the top of my head what it was. Let me see if I can find it. It is Clipmaker. I've been going through their stuff and trying to find an appropriate little bit of an intro for you guys to come up with. I came up with one, but I didn't really like the positioning between like the opening scenario and when it came up with my logo, or actually my name. There was like a 10-second interval in between there. So I decided to cut that, and then today I came up with the one that you guys see now. So now all I have to really do is work with an exiting screen, which I know I can work through with YouTube, and you're going to hopefully find that on my next video. So with that out of the way, I want to talk to you guys about this whole government shutdown thing. Now, whether you're pro-Trump or solely against him, I mean, everything that he's working with, shutting down the government for his own financial benefit. When it all started with the fact that Congress didn't agree with him using money to go towards building the wall. Even though he did raise a substantial amount of money from GoFundMe from the people, Congress still had a fit about this, so he threatened to shut the government down if they failed to agree with him using the money to go towards the wall. Now, my biggest problem, besides the obvious, I mean, for the most part, I've been pro-Trump. I know I'm going to probably lose a lot of people right there. But I mean, some of the things he says and some of the things he does, even though it seems asinine, a lot of people say it's racist. But with shutting down the government, and especially when it's affecting our money. Now, I don't know how many of you people have really been listening to the news or watching videos on YouTube or Facebook or any other ways you get your news, that our federal tax returns are going to be postponed because of all this shit. Now, when you start fucking with our money, that's when shit's gonna get fucking real. I mean, you're gonna have a little fucking tantrum because the government doesn't agree with you funding the wall. Though the money was given by the people through a GoFundMe account. Like I said, there was a substantial amount. I can't remember what the exact number was, but there was a substantial amount of money that was donated for that cause. So, I mean, you look at it one way. There is a substantial amount of money coming from the people to this thing. Now, I don't know if it's been said on how much this wall is going to cost versus how much was donated. And you look at it, so many people are arguing about this. Well, you can't just blame the Mexicans for all this stuff. They deserve the American way as well, and blah, 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 blah. And how can you blame Mexicans for all the rapes and crimes here? Well, you see, I posted a thing on my webpage for sure, which I will share the link with you at the bottom. And I believe I shared it on my Facebook account as well. See, the way I look at it, securing our borders, preventing criminals from entering the country. Now, imagine your house. You have yourself, your wife, your 2 kids. That's all you have in your house. What do you do when you leave the house? You lock the doors, right? What do you do at night? You lock the doors. Some of us have home security systems. Why do you do that? Do you do that to show off your money? Do you have expensive locks on your door to show off your money? Or do you prevent it from, or do you do it to prevent criminals from entering your house? Now you're going to say, oh, well, that's different. That's criminals entering my house that are already on the street. Now, let's take a scenario. Your 16-year-old son is into drugs. Or into a gang. Now into drugs, let's say he's heavy into drugs. He's into the hard stuff. He does meth. Probably has a gun on him. Probably owes his drug dealer money. But you're still securing him in your house. You're not allowing or preventing somebody from the outside to come in your house. Even when you're gone, you lock your doors to go to the gas station just 2 blocks down the road. Why? Your house is empty. You're not protecting anything. You're not protecting anyone. Why is your door locked? Well, you're preventing somebody from entering your house and taking your stuff, right? Or how about you live in a secured apartment building? They have the security on the front door for a reason. Whether it's a keypad, a lock, you have to be buzzed in, all the above, it's there for a reason. Now, the people in there, you don't know all your neighbors, depending on the size of your complex. 5, 6 apartments, 30, 40 apartments, 100 apartments. You don't know everybody in there. You may know some of your neighbors. You may live in a small apartment complex, maybe 6 apartments in the building altogether. You may know all your neighbors. So you think to yourself, okay, these are good people. Yeah, we want to lock the doors to make sure that nobody comes in that shouldn't be here, so everybody stays safe. But let's say your next door neighbor, he has a mental condition that makes him snap at the smallest little thing. Him and his wife, girlfriend, significant other, friends even. Let's say he's having friends over. Poker game, football game, gets violent, pulls out a gun. Now you got an armed gunman in your house with a mental condition. Now, it doesn't have to be a mental condition. Alcohol involved. Anyway, you have an armed man in your house who's pissed off, and he's ready to shoot. While you're still in a secured building, you still have this person with a gun and a short fuse living in the secured apartment building. So what's the difference about allowing other criminals in your house? Let's say the guy 5 doors down is a rapist. You don't know it. You go to work, your kid's at home alone. Next thing you know, neighbor knocks on the door. Hey, okay, I know this neighbor. I've known him very well. I've got no problem with my neighbors coming in, checking up on my kids. Hell, I even asked this particular neighbor to check up on my kid. Well, one particular day after they've gained your trust, they come in to check up on your kid. Next thing you know, they're raping your kid. You don't know this shit. So now what I'm getting at, long story short, I know this kind of went over and a bit above about the wall, but this is kind of getting to my point on that. See, you don't know the types of people that are out there living in your house, living in your secured apartment complexes. You're looking at possibility of having criminals out there in your house, in your apartment complex, in your gated community, but you want to prevent anybody coming into your complex that shouldn't be. Same thing with building this wall. We don't want people, we don't know who these people are out there. They may be good people, they may be bad people. We don't know this. And I know for a fact that a large number of people that cross the border illegally change their identity. So now we have no idea who they really are. We have no idea if they're criminal masterminds, if they're drug runners, if they're rapists. Plus, coming in here illegally, they're looking over their shoulder every day, and if somebody finds out that they're here illegally, threatens to call immigration, what are they capable of? They'll do whatever it takes to not get arrested, not be deported. That could come to assault. That can come to assault and rape. That can come to assault, rape, and murder. That could be murder. I mean, we don't know. Yes, there are people in this country who change their identity to prevent or to avoid persecution. They're on the run from the law. Yeah, everything that we're trying to protect our country from is in this country as well. There's no doubting that. But if we can keep control of who comes in, what comes in. See, we have no problem with drug smugglers being detained by the government. We have no problem with gangbangers being deported by the government. But we do have a problem with people wanting to break the law to come in here and run a possibility of breaking another law. You see, there's so many contradictories out there. I mean, if I were to talk to a small amount of people on this, that this would be an ongoing conversation. There'd probably be a lot of angry people. There'd probably be a lot of violence. I mean, this conversation is never going to come to a solid agreement. There's always going to be people out there that will disagree about this topic matter. There's going to be people that have no problems just opening up the border and allowing whoever in the fuck wants to come to this country walk on through. But you see, the little funny part about it, Mexico has a border, a secured border on their south side. That's right. Right on the edge of Central America, they have a secured border. The Mexican laws are 10 times worse for what the hell am I looking for? People who are not naturally born citizens. They have a huge problem. There are so many regulations and limitations of people that want to move to Mexico that are not naturally born there. And if you enter Mexico illegally and try to claim to be a citizen, your ass is going right over the border after persecution. That is, if you make it over the border. So many countries in this world have far worse punishment for people who enter their country illegally. And yet we're over here crying because our president wants to do and is trying to do exactly what the past 3 or 4 presidents, probably more, had talked about, including Obama, what everybody's little god, including Obama. He wanted to secure our borders, but he never had the cojones to. It was talk. Bush wanted to close the borders. Clinton wanted to close the borders. George Sr. wanted to close the borders. I'm not quite sure about Reagan. I haven't looked that far into it, but I did do a little bit of research on videos with different presidents who had talked about wanting to close the borders and how better it would be on our economy, how better it would be for the government, how better it would be for the people. I mean, we're not spending all this money on illegal punishment, arresting them, crime rate. I mean, we would be gaining so much money that could be put back into this country if we didn't have to worry about all these illegal immigrants coming into this country. But there's so many people out there that scream racism, that scream everything under the sun, because Trump is trying to close the border. There's these people that are acting violent about the violence. So, if you want to open the border, if you're not for the border being secured, go ahead and do me a favor. Take the locks off your house, disarm your alarms, turn in your guns, and any preventative maintenance that you have to secure your household. After you do that, leave your name and address in the comments below. If you're not willing to do that now, I'm not asking you to be on the wall side, but if you're not going to agree to do that, then maybe you should think about exactly why your house is more important than your country, than your state, your county, your city. Because there is no city, county, state that is safe. We're not talking about just Mexicans. We're talking about anybody in this country, or anybody in this world, I apologize, anybody in this world who is trying to enter this country illegally. If they want to come here, yes, it takes time. Yes, it takes a lot of money. Yes, a lot of people don't have the money to do so. Yes, they are trying to run away from crime and violence in their country. There are a lot of other places that are willing to take in refugees. There are a lot of other places that are willing to take in migrants. Hell, the United States of America was founded on immigration. But they did it legally. Did everybody do it legally? I'm not going to stand here and fool myself and lie to you and say, yeah. But the mass majority of Europeans and other countries that came to this country during the uproar, during the 1800s, probably even the 1600s, came here and did it legally. They went and registered their name through immigration. They got citizenship. They came to this country wanting to better themselves. They got a job. They got a house, and they did it all correct. They didn't come in here and scream all this equalization shit, but try to take away your rights. Oh, it's America. We have the freedom of religion. So you're going to practice my religion, but you're not going to practice your religion. Oh, it's the United States of America. You're going to speak my language, but you're not going to speak your language. Or you're going to make my language your second language. Now, that's not the way it goes. You don't make demands when you come to another country. You accept what is given to you. But anyways, I'm going to leave it at that. And can't wait to see everybody's comments. Until the next video comes up, peace out, brothers.